Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have the FREEWING 80mm Gripen. Had my eye on this one for a while because I've always liked the just the profile and just how sharp this jet looks. Finally got my hands on one. We're going to do a review on it today, put plenty of packs through it, show you guys everything you need to know, setup, performance, power, all that capabilities. So with this one, completely stock. We do have the 2150 kV 80mm motor in there, the Dubro low bounce wheels, and an afterburner. Other than that, completely stock. And if you're wondering the canards mixing, I will go over that when I get home. And for reference, I did just use the Motion RC video. They do control pitch and roll, as you can see here when I got my remote. So canards go up, elevators up, down, and then left and right. So they do all four. So otherwise than that, let's get this thing in the air and show you guys what it can do. So for a majority of, actually all of these flights, we are going to be using 4,000 size packs. I'm running an HRB 4000. I will show you where the CG is. Well, my battery placement is right in the middle. 8-channel receiver is mandatory because of the canards. So just wanted to get that out of the way before we take it up. But now it's time to go take it up and show you what it can do. Let's just talk about my personal experience with this jet, and since I do have a decent amount of stick time on it, I can tell you that it is a really fun jet to fly. It is lacking a little bit in the power, which is surprising because it does have that 2150 kV motor, but to do the stuff that I am doing and that you're seeing me do, I am close in that 80%, 100% throttle range basically the whole time, which does diminish flight times, especially if you're using a 4000. And I use a 4000 because of the weight, so you can get high alphas like this. But you can use a 5000, it just does weigh it down more than is needed, and it's already pretty heavy. But since it is a 90mm kind of size airplane, it's definitely a bigger 80. It does need a little bit more power. If you can look past that, and if you're okay with that, it is an excellent choice for a Delta Wing. Now that being said, I don't own too many Delta Wings, and the Gripen is the one that I have the stick time on the most. I did recently pick up the FREEWING Eurofighter 90mm, got the maiden out of the way, all that, but just haven't gotten a ton of stick time on it, so I don't really know the jet like I know Gripen. If you are able to look past the power to weight ratio of Gripen, it is a really good looking jet in my opinion. The gear are absolutely fantastic. Like I said before, I do have the Dubro low bounce wheels on there, which I highly recommend getting for this airplane and any other airplane you have. This was the first Delta Wing jet that I have ever owned in my flying career, surprisingly, because I've owned a lot of jets, and it has definitely taught me a lot about Delta Wings and how they really vary from other planes such as, you know, the F4 Phantom or the 90mm F-18. They're just a whole different category of jet. You can really throw them around and slat them around, and they aren't going to bite you as opposed to an F-18. Obviously, you're not going to be performing high alpha with an F-18, but the Gripen is just really fun. It's a different flying experience, and especially with those loaded rolls, you just pop the jet up, kick it around with some rudder, and it does an excellent loaded roll. So to sum up my thoughts on the Gripen, so we're going to start with the pros. This jet is just absolutely phenomenal at high alpha, and every time I take it up, I cannot stop doing high alpha. As you can see here, it's my 8th clip showing how stable it is in high alpha, but I just can't get enough of it. The canard mixing is completely up to you, and that is a good thing because you can do all this custom mixing, but it's also a kind of a bad thing just because you do need an 8-channel receiver. There's no option to get a 6-channel receiver and fly this jet unless you you might be able to, but it's safer to go with the 8-channel. Drawbacks is definitely the power is the main one that I'm seeing. I personally would just like to have a little bit more power on a Delta Wing, and I've known guys that have run this on 8S just because it's a little bit underpowered for what they like. And as for characteristics, minus almost harming wildlife, it is a really fun jet, and it's a different jet to experience. Like, you guys have probably seen my video on the MiG or the F4 or the F-14, but this jet is just nothing like it. Just the way you can pop it up full back, doesn't break any airflow over the wings, and then just slides around in those loaded rolls right into high alpha, and it lands nice too. So nice, guys. So nice. All right, and taking off. So with these deltas, make sure to hold a little bit of back pressure, and they'll rotate up just nicely, kind of popped up there. Let's throttle back, get those gear up, and turn and burn. So this thing, it is pretty fast, as you can see. And it's just the unique thing about the Gripen, and what I've noticed is with other Delta wings, you can go full throttle, as you can see, full throttle, and then just full up, and then slide it around in those barrels. And it will just tolerate all that. It is a very forgiving airframe. So we're gonna come around, and I love doing tight patterns with this Gripen. So we're gonna come around, bring it in a high alpha. Excellent performance. Bring it around. And I'm gonna turn and burn right in front of us. It just is so locked in, and I do have AS3X in this. I do have a gyro, but I'm just amazed how it just slides around, and the wing loading just does not affect it at all. Like, full speed, minimum radius turn. I don't know if you got that or not, if you want me to do it again. Sure, I will do it again. So coming around, so we're full throttle and minimum radius turn. Look how tight that turn is. And then you can just go straight into some high alpha action. Coming around. And we'll do some nice low high alpha. We are getting a little low on time, so I'm going to come around, do one hot pass before we have to land, and then bring it in for a landing. Pretty speedy. So now we're going to get those gear out. They aren't sequenced or anything, which is nice. I do like that. They just kind of pop out. And landing this airplane is exactly how you fly it. Just keep that high alpha angle of attack, because it will tolerate it for sure. Control your descent with throttle. And there's your successful flight on the Gripen. So now we're gonna put a couple more packs through it, do some maneuvers, all that stuff. You saw the basis, and we're just gonna show you guys what it can do. So let's cut to that. All right, guys, welcome back from the field. Now that we have the FREEWING GRIPEN 80mm in front of me, we're gonna go through all the setup, CG rates, all that small stuff. Let's start off with the canard mixing. So the way I have the canards mixed is they do go for pitch and roll. So they do all four. And the mixing is from the Motion RC's mixing video for Spectrum. It's just a 1-to-1 ratio with the elevator, like I pointed out before earlier in the video, but I wouldn't recommend doing them for roll, just because when you do get to higher angles of attack and slower speeds and those canards move for roll, they kind of break airflow over the wings, so you do dampen it controls a lot. So definitely recommend only doing them pitch. You can do them roll, don't get me wrong, it works perfectly with the roll, but it's just when you get to those slower speeds, it does get a little bit sketchy. If you are wondering what this is, so this is the thrust vectoring unit from FREEWING. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to control the direction of thrust, which can make for some pretty cool aerobatics. I haven't put it on yet just because I need a bigger receiver, but if you guys want to see a video of me flying with a thrust vectoring, please let me know, and I would be happy to throw it on there and then do a comparison. But other than that, scale details of this plane, really good. I don't have any of the pitot tubes on just because they broke off, but
I like the lights. 80 millimeters don't usually have a ton of lights. This one has landing lights and then red and green navigation lights, obviously. Definitely like that. It is a bigger bird. It is like definitely more 90 size. It's a little bit bigger than your average 80 millimeter. But, and then as for CG and rates, I am just going by the CG marks on the wings. I found those to be perfect. So the point where it's not super tail heavy and unstable, but can still hold nice high alpha. Like I said before, I do run it on 4,000 size packs, not 5,000s, just because it's already a little bit underpowered and that extra weight just doesn't help at all. Drawback is definitely flight time and power, like I said before, and I will show you all the rates and mixing on my transmitter here shortly.
All right, guys, so for rates and setup, aileron is at 80, expos at 45, elevator's at 110, expos at 45, and rudder's 140. And this is with all of the mixing. You can see my 4 mixes. So that is elevator, elevator, aileron, aileron. So this is aileron. You can see that mixing, and they are all basically the same. This is the elevator. So it's literally, it's 1-to-1, so 100%, 100%. Those are my rates and mixing setup for the Gripen. There's the full review and setup of the FREEWING 80mm Gripen. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and hope to see you back at the channel soon. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching.